as I've watched this program over the course of the season, this is always the point in the music where I wish they were just flying. Just fly across the ice with power. For some reason, with the spin and the lack of speed afterwards, it just doesn't quite stay connected with the emphasis of the music at that point.
I think for the most part living up to the demands of a song choice like Ave Maria.
Yes, absolutely. There was a lot of drama in that program, and for such a young team, still up and coming, this was a wonderful performance, a good place to start from. Certainly a lot of room to grow, but they gave it their best today, and hopefully they'll be rewarded.
The final couple, when we come back, along for the scores for Yannick and Katsalapov. The leaders after the short dance, the reigning Olympic champions, and the couple that ended the winning streak for Davis and White at 10, the Canadian champions, Tessa Virtue and Scott Moir.
And Scott has been outspoken with the media all season long about how they feel they are the best, and this is theirs to lose. So a lot of confidence, but a lot of pressure.
Sunny, funny face, for you're a cutie with more than beauty. You've got a lot of personality and you.
The first element we take a look at here, the diagonal step sequence. We now know that Davis and White actually only earned level 3s on both of their step sequence. Level 4s for all their other elements, but this is an opportunity right here for Virtue and Moir to once again try to take that lead away by earning the highest level 4 possible. Made from the feedback they received in the season. That's a new lift. We haven't seen that before. We spoke earlier about Marina Zueva saying it wasn't hard to choose the right programs for each team, and she commented that Tessa in particular is just so romantic in her artistry. These types of programs suit her wonderfully.
Paradise, paradise, what I love to see. You've made my life so glamorous. You can't blame me for feeling amorous.
Was that a gold medal skate by the Canadians?
Well, I'll never say it too soon, but they are certainly no exception to every couple in this last group who skated, I think, their best of the season. These two, once again, giving it everything they have and clearly winning over the audience with that performance.
Du Canada,
Tessa Virtue, Scott Moir.
The reigning Olympic champions, have they won the Worlds again? Tessa Virtue and Scott Moir will get their marks when we come back.
And once again, Virtue and Moir just delivering such a magical performance. And beyond anything else, what I really appreciated about this entire thing was the edge quality. There was so much subtlety that was wonderful in the choreography, but what was going on through their blades and their feet throughout the step sequences was so secure and so spot on. It was really just a very clean performance. Let me take a look here at the twizzle sequence. Tessa just a hair off, but recovering quickly. And also an impressive quality about these two is just their ability to maintain the character throughout even the elements. When they're in lifts, they're still engaged in their facial expressions. And as we said before the short dance, leading up to these World Championships, they were so hungry to win back their world title and felt like they've actually gained strength for having had to overcome Tessa's injury and clearly showing off that renewed strength with this free dance effort tonight.
Virtue and Moir now waiting. You mentioned Tessa's injury, undergoing not one but two surgeries for compartment syndrome to her legs, and now skating and training pain-free.
Tessa et Scott ont obtenu un total de 110 points 34 pour la danse libre.
And that'll be plenty.
110.34 they had for dance, for ice dance. They had a relatively comfortable lead after the short dance of 1.33, and they win it overall over Merrill Davis and Charlie White, just over 4 points, which is a pretty commanding performance, because as we talked about when we first saw Virtue and Moir and compared them to Davis and White, it was going to be the slimmest of margins. Well, maybe for the first time in the last couple of years since the Olympic performance by Virtue and Moir when they won gold and Davis and White won silver, it was not by the slimmest of margins. And this was a little bit more safety, if you will, a little bit more of a statement by Virtue and Moir. And Kenneth, finally getting your thoughts on not only the free dance and the performance once again of the Canadians, but also compared to the Americans, and we count down, if you will. I know it's more than 2 years, but still, that was a wide margin of victory, fairly comfortable.
It was indeed. And it's interesting because Tessa and Scott developed over the course of the season very quickly. They started out actually sort of behind the game, especially compared to Davis and White in terms of preparation, and they really pushed themselves so that by the time the World Championships came, this performance was really the best anyone has seen from them in so long, and I think that made it that much more impactful.
Before the free dancer, Andrea Joyce asked Davis and White if having their winning streak sort of gave them a wake-up call, changed. Obviously, they answered as they might. But how will they accept this result going forward?
Well, I think that obviously they'll accept it graciously, as they always have primarily, but really they were awarded so much credit over the past 2 seasons with what they've done. They don't need to reinvent anything. They just need to keep their noses to the grindstones and hope that they have another great package to present themselves with next year.
So this just congratulations to Tessa and Scott, and then move along for the American team. And we'll probably see a replay of this along with an emerging Russian team, no doubt, at the upcoming Olympic Games, let alone the Worlds next year. Back to wrap things up, Nice has been an incredible host. Stay with us on Universal Sports.
The hometown crowd and really feeding off of the energy that they gave them. And of course, Merrill and Charlie from the United States competing so incredibly well once again. Their consistency is one of their greatest strengths, and they haven't disappointed all season long. Just a flawless performance. Perhaps once again, like in the short dance, not receiving the levels they'd like, but they must feel great about that performance nevertheless. But it was Virtue and Moyer from Canada who once again reasserted themselves as the leaders and just delivered a fantastic free dance to Funny Face. Very charming, very solid.
The Olympic champions, Tessa Virtue and Scott Moyer, are now world champions for the second time. For Tanith Belbin, I'm Paul Sunderland. Thanks so much for watching. It's been the World Championships on Universal Sports.